I'm here today to talk about the 10 worst video games of all time. And trust me, these games are so bad, you'll be wishing you never wasted your hard-earned money on them. First up, we have the infamous E.T. for the Atari 2600. This game was so bad that it's said to have contributed to the video game industry crash of 1983. And honestly, it's not hard to see why. The graphics are terrible, the gameplay is glitchy, and the storyline is just plain confusing. Next on our list is Big Rigs, over-the-road racing. This game is so bad that it's almost comical. The game is so glitchy that you can actually drive your truck through buildings and over bridges that don't even exist. And don't even get me started on the non-existent collision detection. Moving on to Superman 64. If you're a fan of the Man of Steel, you're going to want to steer clear of this game. The graphics are terrible, the controls are clunky, and the gameplay is just plain boring. Plus, the game's infamous ring challenges are enough to make you want to pull your hair out. And let's not forget about Shaq Fu. Yes, you heard that right. Shaq Fu. This game stars NBA superstar Shaquille O'Neal as a martial artist battling evil forces. The graphics are terrible, the storyline is confusing, and the gameplay is just plain bad. Next up is Sonic the Hedgehog, 2006. This game was supposed to be a reboot of the beloved Sonic franchise, but instead, it ended up being a complete disaster. The graphics are glitchy, the controls are clunky, and the storyline is just plain nonsensical. Moving on to Custer's Revenge. This game is so bad that it's actually offensive. The game features a pixelated General Custer who is tasked with dodging arrows to have sex with a Native American woman tied to a post. Need I say more? And who could forget about Ride to Hell, Retribution? This game is so bad that it's almost impressive. The graphics are terrible, the controls are clunky, and the storyline is just plain nonsensical. Plus, the game's sex scenes are so cringe-worthy that you'll want to look away. Next up is Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. This game is so bad that it's not even really a game. It's more like a slideshow of poorly drawn images with a nonsensical storyline. And to make matters worse, the game's erotic content is just plain uncomfortable. Moving on to Bubsy 3D. This game was supposed to be a 3D platformer, but instead, it ended up being a glitchy mess. The graphics are terrible, the controls are clunky, and the game is just plain frustrating to play. And don't even get me started on Bubsy's annoying one-liners. Last but not least, we have Duke Nukem Forever. This game was in development for over a decade, and unfortunately, it was not worth the wait. The graphics are outdated, the gameplay is clunky, and the storyline is just plain bad. And to make matters worse, the game's portrayal of women is extremely problematic. So there you have it, folks, the 10 worst video games of all time. Hopefully, you've never had to experience the pain of playing these games. But if you have, feel free to share your horror stories in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more top 10 worst content. See you in the next video.